Hello everyone, welcome to Fauna Farming in the Philippines. Well, both me and Tata have been putting this off for 2 weeks. We need to irrigate today, and today's we have to do it. So, through a bit of last minute trial and error, we figured out how we're going to do this. We can't just put, so this is the size of the pipe, the drain pipe in the tilapia pond. We just can't put net over that and let it drain, because any little fingerling that gets caught up against that, the suction is so great, the force of the water is so great that they get locked right there. They get trapped and they die. So this is a much larger area. Hopefully it's enough to where any fingerlings that get up against that, the pressure is not so great that it traps them there. I hope. The proof will be in the pudding. But anyway, we're going to set that on top of the elbow, and you know, the thing is this needs to be removable. So, because I've got a vertical pipe that is on that elbow right now, so that needs to be replaced when the irrigation is complete. So we're doing it this way rather than building a big cumbersome frame out of steel. I think this is going to be the easiest way. So we're going to give this a shot, see how it works, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, Tata just removed the vertical pipe. Now we got to try to get that on there. Tata has to try to get it on there. And we left some adjustment in it. A little bit too tight is better than too loose. So is on? Does it need, you need to cut it?
Yeah, not bit.
Small adjustments, Tata. Hopefully this isn't too much of a pain for Tata. What's he doing? Is there mud, Tata?
What?
Is there a lot of mud?
Oh.
Is on?
Yeah.
There's big changes in the amount of water that's coming out. You can hear it. Can I help you, Tata?
What?
Can I help you?
No.
What do you need?
What?
All right, well, I'm going to leave Tata here because I have to go get I have to go put the stop buckets in. I mean, it takes a few minutes for this water to get to the checks, but I dang sure don't want to waste any of this water. So I've got to get down here and get these plugged up. Now, there's no need to plug these first three fields, because this one here still isn't planted. But I want to get down here and get this. Really, the only check we need to plug is the one between field 5 and 6. All right, so that one's in place. As you can see, it's going to block the flow. Now, there's nothing here yet. The water hasn't made it down this far. And there's one of my feed buckets. I don't know how, one of my feed scoops with the lid gone. I don't know how that ended up down here and broken. What are we going to plant here? Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you. There we plant onion.
You want to plant onions here?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, whatever we plant here, we need to remove like this much of the top. It's too high. Like this portion where those carrots are, it's too high.
I'm going to level. That's enough.
Yeah, the low part right there is okay. This is too high, and on the end is too high. Let me go check and see what's going on up here. All right, this water's coming through now. So that's doing all right. All right, top die's done. It's on, it's attached. You only wasted one cigarette. Pretty good flow of water. I also had this block off here as well, but I put a release on it as well just to get that extra little speed. So later this week, I don't know, we're going to hire someone. I don't know if it's going to be this week. It might not be until next week. But we're going to get this field done, lickety split, and then we're going to start raising up the height of this dam in anticipation of putting cages back in there. That's the plan. So the irrigation has begun. All right, a couple hours later, and this field is done. Look, we're losing because the other fields aren't complete, aren't ready, and they don't have checks in them. We're using a lot more water than what we normally would. Probably be done already if all the checks were in place and I was able to do it at one field at a time. But because field 1, field 2, and field 3 don't have proper checks in them. Field 3 does, but there's nothing in it that needs to be watered, so I'm just letting the water go through it. But if I was able to block off field 1, fill it up, and then release, same with field 2, block it off, fill it up, and then release, field 3, block it off, then release, and it would go into this field. So basically the way it is right now, fields 1, 2, and 3 all have several inches of water in them, and it's all soaking in. So even though there's a tremendous amount of water coming out of the pond, there's not much making its way down here because it's all soaking into those fields. Whereas if they all had proper ditches and checks in them, it would channel the water down here, and it wouldn't take so much water, probably about 25% less than what we're using. But we have plenty of water, so right now it's not that big of a concern. So this field is done, so I'm going to release this water and let it go into field 5 here. And it won't take long at all to do field 5 because this is a lot of water and it's deep. And field 5, this one here, is much more flat than this one. You can see in this one that some of these, even the raised part is submerged, and some of the raised parts over there are not submerged. So it's not even. So it takes more water to get it all properly done. Now I know it's going to take both hands to release this, and the girls, God bless them, they had used my buckets, my buckets that I'm using to block this off here. They'd use them for watering buckets. So they poked little holes in them to put handles on them, so they're not holding water just perfect like they should be. So I'm going to go down here and check and see if there's a bucket actually in this one. I think there is because the water is being backed up here, but I've got to double check. I don't want to have to make a mad dash through here trying to get the bucket in down here after I release that one. I can't tell from a distance because this carrying tote is blocking my view. It is in place. Okay. All right. And this field already, the ditches are already full of water, so it won't take, this field won't take long at all. All right, so I took that bucket out, and as you can see, that is a dang old stream of water coming out of there. So it will drain this field just to nothing flat. So, and consequently, it'll fill this one up in nothing flat, especially because of the leakage, because of those little holes they poked in the bucket. These furrows are almost all the way full. So everything is working according to plan. I love it when a plan comes together. I'm gonna go down here and triple check, make sure we have no leaks. I would anticipate this field being done in about 30 minutes, because that's a lot of water coming into it. And I need to double check. The reason I got the shovel in my hand, so I'm going to double check and make sure everything's in place for the final drain down here on field 6. I might need to go back and get some pipe or whatever. Well, there is a little loss there, but no big deal. I know I've got the short extension pipe down here. I just don't know if an elbow made it down here as well. So I'm going to double check that real quick. There may have even been an elbow down here, but we haven't been playing around here all the time, so who knows. Yeah, I don't see the elbow. Here's the upright pipe. Alright, so I've got to go find an elbow. Alright, well I hunted down an elbow. There it is. It's holding this water now. And the height of that pipe is a little bit lower than the height of this dam. So when I want to release the water out of this field, I just take that top pipe off and let it go out the elbow, or remove the elbow, either one. This eggplant is coming along. Probably ready to start harvesting this eggplant in about a month. A little more corn there in that corner. And this is our new tomato patch. You know, it seems like we can only get about a month of production out of our tomatoes before the blight runs them down and kills them. Maybe 6 weeks, which is a shame, but it seems like that's about the norm. But they're looking good so far, so wish us luck. Well, we're running out of daylight. It's real close. The pond's gone down at least a foot, maybe a little over a foot. Tatai's removing the setup that he had here so he can get that bucket out. You use form bar, Tatai? Are you gonna waste another vitamin, Tatai? That just worked like a charm. Did you get it in the hole, Tatai? Beautiful. All right, so we lowered the pond about a foot. I'm gonna go, because field 1 here is not done, there's a lot of water in it. Because the bank hasn't been widened, the furrows haven't been put in, so it has just retained a lot of water. There's, I don't know, a good 8 inches of water, which would be enough to water any one of these fields down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, whether or not field 5 is done or not, I'm going to release the water into field 6 and call it good. Yeah, this is field 5, and it's as close as it's going to get. I could probably leave it going for another 10 minutes. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to sit down here until look, I don't want to walk back to the house in the dark. So I'm going to give it another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to release this, because it's real close. It's real close to being deep enough. That capillary action is getting the water to the roots. It's a lot easier to remove these buckets than what you would think, because while they are under pressure, they're not under a lot of pressure. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but if you just press on the back of it here like so, and just press it in. There we go. Just like that. I was able to do it with one hand. So, look, I'm just guessing on the amount, you know, we shut the water off at the pond about 10 minutes ago. Now, whether we should have waited 10 minutes or shut the water off sooner, draining from the pond, I don't know. Because I've only irrigated twice before this. I still haven't got it dialed in all the way. Especially since we've raised these dams and raised the banks. So whether or not there's too much water backed up in the rest of those fields and it'll flood this field out, I don't know. You know, I do have the flashlight on my phone, so I think I'm going to stay down here and babysit this, but I'm not going to, because I want to remove that pipe down there with the elbow, so the dam doesn't get overwhelmed. But I know I'm not going to have enough daylight to film it. But I'll put it in a bubble here at the end, so you know what the final story is. Whether I should have turned it off sooner or left it going. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.